So, everybody been wanting to know, is we going to get the Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis fight next? Well, we pretty much got the answer today. And shout out to Fannon. Calvin Ford, he pulled up to Fannon Boxing, and we got the answer. And the answer is no. Just like I thought, just like I've been saying. Gervonta Davis is not fighting Shakur Stevenson next. Calvin Ford made a million excuses, said flat out he don't like the Shakur Stevenson fight. And we're going to talk about all that in this video. I know that y'all going to get pissed off and mad because it's a popularity contest and Gervonta Davis definitely got the biggest fan base. But, this ain't even really about Tank Davis because Tank ain't said nothing. This is about the people that are in Gervonta Davis's corner, like Leonard Ellaby and Calvin Ford, the ones that have the most influence on what he does. So let's just cook on it, So once again, shout out to Fannon. Calvin Ford, he pulled up. And one thing I got to say about Calvin Ford is Calvin been saying these same things. That's why I knew that we weren't going to get the Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis fight next. That ain't in their plans. I'm going to let y'all hear the audio, because he said it right out of his mouth. Now, of course, Shakur Stevenson is going to be the one to get all of the backlash from this. Shakur Stevenson is going to be the one to get all of the false narratives that's going to come out saying that he ducked the fight, and it's going to be a million reasons why Shakur Stevenson ducked the fight, and nobody is going to point the finger to Gervonta Davis and his team. Now, I'm going to play y'all this audio. Before I play y'all this audio, I gotta let y'all know, and most of y'all still won't even comprehend it, but Shakur Stevenson has not received any offer from Gervonta Davis's team yet. I mean, they just recently found out that Lomachenko pulled out, ducked or whatever you want to call it. Some people say that Lomachenko is just doing the same thing that Tank Davis did for years. Some people say he ducked, whatever y'all want to call it. I'm not even going to get into that. But the fact is that Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis's team, they haven't started no type of negotiations. This has just all been talk over the internet. Now, I want y'all to listen to this audio on what Calvin Ford had to say about a Shakur Stevenson fight. And then we going to come back and I'm going to give y'all my thoughts on this. Here's the audio right here. Hold on. I'm going to play it. And like I said, this is from Fannon's channel.
They think they're going to get 30 million. You know what I'm saying? When they are on free TV. They don't understand. When they sit in negotiation, that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So again, people make decisions. That's not enough money for me. So do you want to fight Tank because you think you can beat Tank, or you want to fight Tank because you're looking for a big payday? We already know that everybody looking for a big payday. That's not a problem. But they got to understand, money is being put up before the fight. Before the fight even happened, they're going to look at what you was producing before the fight. You with me? So I'm going to tell you like this. They're going to send you a contract with the money. If they take it, they take it. It is what it is. And Shakur is one of the last of the big four, to tell you the truth. And he squeezed in there just like Martin. He's one of the last ones.
And so y'all say y'all sending them something? Y'all getting something?
We're gonna send. Again. We gotta find the biggest fights too. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of.
What other big fights?
So if you clearly can hear, I ain't done playing the audio, but Fannon asked him, y'all saying y'all gonna send Shakur something? Is that what y'all saying? And he says, well, it's other big fights too. Let me go ahead and continue to play this. And like I said, how are you gonna say that Shakur Stevenson and his team gonna ask for $30 million, throwing numbers out there, when you ain't even sat down and talked to them people yet? But hold on, I'm gonna continue to play this.
Do you think there are other than
I ain't even gonna tell you yet. I ain't even. We're gonna set. Again. We got to find the biggest fights too. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of.
What other big fights you think there are other than?
I ain't even gonna tell you yet. I ain't even gonna tell you. There's some big fights out there. You'll go, okay, that's a good one. See, I'm like this. I don't like the Shakur fight unless they deal with negotiating. It's not because they scared. Nobody's scared of nobody in this game. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you sit there and look at certain things, you need two fighters to engage. Shakur already sit there and say, I'm gonna fight my fight. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? It's my job to crack that goddamn safe. You with me?
Now let's break this down. Because you clearly heard him say that Shakur Stevenson was one of the last ones, right? He one of the last ones, and I've been telling y'all that, man. They don't have no intentions on fighting Shakur Stevenson next or no time soon, because on that list, he one of the last ones. I've been telling people that, right? So when all of this shit blow up, because it's already blowing up, and they come out with all of these, narratives that Shakur didn't turn down the contract, the first thing this man started talking about was money. Money, 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 but then told you the full truth that they really don't even like the Shakur Stevenson fight. And when I say they, I'm not talking about Gervonta Davis. I'm talking about his team. When I'm saying his team, I'm talking about Calvin Ford specifically and Leonard Ellaby. Because, to keep it a buck, Coach Kenny, he want all the smoke. Coach Kenny, he always has wanted all the smoke because he really think that can't nobody beat Gervonta Davis. And I salute him for thinking that and believing in Tank, right? But Calvin and Leonard Ellaby, they move a lot more cautious. They got a plan mapped out. Because when Fannon asked Calvin, look, where are the other big fights out there? You're saying there's other big fights. What are the other big fights? I can't even say. You'll be surprised. Huh? So, Devin Haney, he's no longer an option, right? What other big fights? Y'all said y'all don't want to fight at 140. Y'all said that, we know you ain't moving that up to 147 because lately y'all been talking about how small Gervonta Davis is. He's small. These other guys is way bigger than him. So, Pitbull Cruz, is that what y'all banking on? Zepeda, he definitely ain't a big name. Lomachenko just fell out. What are the other big fights? Ryan Garcia, he's suspended for a year, and Ryan Garcia big as hell. You can't talk about in the past that Devin Haney was too big and then say that Ryan Garcia ain't too big. Like, come on, let's make this shit make sense. The truth is Shakur Stevenson is not going to get a contract, and if he does get a contract, it's going to be something that they know him and his team ain't going to be willing to sign. Now, as far as it goes for Shakur Stevenson, right? He already had that discussion with Kenny Ellis. And Kenny threw a hypothetical number out there. He says, say your biggest payday was $3 million. Say your biggest payday was $3 million and we offer you $6 million. Will you take it? He said, hell yeah. He said, say your biggest payday was $10 million and we offered you 12. Would you take it? He said, man, hell yeah. These are hypothetical numbers that Kenny threw out there. Shakur Stevenson already let them know, look, I know that Gervonta Davis is the A side. I know that he bring way more to the table than I bring. I'm not tripping about money. And he says, yeah, I'll take what y'all give me. That's as long as y'all gonna give me more than what I've been making, because it would be retarded to get in the ring with Gervonta Davis, all the money that fight is gonna bring, and make less than what you usually been making against these other guys that are nowhere near the level of Tank Davis in star status. Don't make sense. But see, when you listen to Calvin Ford, to me it sounded like they already prepared to send Shakur Stevenson a super, super low offer so they can run back to the media and say, well, we sent him an offer and he turned it down. Now, what I believe, if Shakur Stevenson gets sent an offer that's bigger than what he's been making, if you believe you can beat Gervonta Davis, take it. Because once you do beat him, you'll be him. You'll be that dude. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Because you beat the man that everybody is calling the man, at least, right? You beat the fighter that everybody is calling him. So, we can't just go out here, run with narratives, and say, oh man, he gonna ask for this. Because I see a pattern with Kenny Ellis and Leonard Ellaby. Every time a fighter comes up that is looked at as a big threat to Gervonta Davis, they start talking money. They start making a million excuses on how much they gonna ask for without even getting to any negotiations. They already start talking money. They start making excuses on, oh, well, man, we don't like this fight because of this and that. I see right through the BS. Y'all ain't never talked money when it came to Hector Luis Garcia, when it came to Ryan Garcia, when it came to Pitbull Cruz, when it came to Frank Martin. None of these other fighters that you've stepped in the ring with, y'all ain't never said nothing about the money. But when it's another fighter that is looked at as an elite fighter that's actually, has a big chance of beating Gervonta Davis, it's money. Oh, well, the fight don't make sense because of this and that and that. That's what it is. It's always been like that. And the crazy thing is because Gervonta Davis has a huge fan base, they're allowed to do that and get away with it. Let one of these other fighters start making these excuses like that. Everybody on top of their head. Tank Davis can do it, but they get away with it because they got a huge fan base. That's not what I'm not feeling. I'm not feeling that. And my bad when I say Tank Davis, because Tank ain't said nothing. Like I said, this is not about Tank. But at the end of the day, Gervonta Davis does pretty much what his team tell him to do because they've put him in these positions to be the man like that when it comes to money, right? They put him in these positions, so he gonna listen to them. Unless it's just something that he completely don't want to do, then he'll step to the table and tell them no. But at this point in time, he needs to step to the table and tell them, I want to fight Shakur. Send him a respectable offer and let's get it popping. And then if Shakur do some BS and we know the number that he turns down and it's more than what he been getting, then we can get on his helmet. But we heard loud and clear what Coach Calvin said. He don't like to fight. And then he's like, oh, well, Shakur, you need two guys to engage. You don't know how that man gonna fight. And it's not up to you to tell the opponent how they're supposed to fight. It's up to y'all to worry about the performance that Gervonta Davis puts on. And can he beat anybody in anybody's style? That's it, that's all. I'm sick of this stuff in boxing just all the way around, man. Anyway, we see what it is. That fight ain't happening next. It's gonna be thousands and thousands of people to flip this so it doesn't seem like Calvin said what he said. But we know how this go. Anyway, y'all make sure y'all hit my like button. The haters hit the thumbs down. And y'all already know how I do. Tego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.